Going to do a short video on single mothers. Single mothers end up single mothers, typically because of promiscuous behavior. Second reason is they are with a man, relationship, and their expectations just aren't met. And so, as a result, they feel the guy is a horrible guy, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it all. And they leave. Uh, Now they're getting child support and all that other stuff. Um, the victim mentality. So, why are expectations not being met? Why have the divorce rates skyrocketed since no fault divorces back in the 60s, late 60s? Romance, movies, media, magazines, movies, women, they fantasize about the ideal man, the ideal life, the ideal relationship, and they're disappointed when they meet reality. And you know, romance novels used to be the thing few people read anymore. Then it was soap operas and the drama, the drama of soap operas. And now we have reality TV shows, dating stuff, the movies, the Disney cartoons of all the fantasy, meeting your perfect man and meeting your king and all this stuff. It's fantasy, it's make believe. But women are inclined to fantasize about all this ideal stuff, and then if they meet reality, this is exposed in today's customs of marriages. People are spending tens of thousands, and in rich people's case, sometimes hundreds of thousands, and in really rich cases, millions of dollars on a wedding. I have four daughters. I reminded them that if their wedding day is the best day of their life, it's going to be all downhill from there. That, in my opinion, is the primary reason why women think guys are all pigs, a-holes, blah, 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 blah. You fill in the blank. You've heard it all, I'm sure. But yeah, women are just dissatisfied, and it's due, in my opinion, to fantasy. They're fantasizing about stuff that just isn't reality. Um, some of the problems we have is we've got no fault divorce now. Um, Child support that started in like the 50s. It wasn't really enforced, but they had to start reporting back in the 50s. And now we have demonizing phrases like deadbeat dads and that type of thing. Men, the only, like in America, the only debt that you can go to jail for, debtor's prison, is child support. And women have been empowered in such a way that they can enslave men. And we've created a situation where a woman can jump from man to man and get pregnant and guarantee themselves an income where they just don't have to work and be victimized all at the same time. It's insane. So add to that welfare, food stamps, subsidized housing, child care reimbursement, free health care, free cell phones, free internet. I mean, I miss some stuff. It's ridiculous how much stuff people, women especially, get today. And then they'll shack up with like subsidized housing. They'll shack up with a guy, don't put him on the lease, and then collect the extra benefits. It's women are using their vaginas as ATMs. And then add to this earned income credit and child tax credit. I mean, you have a couple of kids, man, you can pull in 10,000 plus a year just from a federal refundable tax credit. It's insane. Single mothers, again, they, when dating, will expect a prospecting man to look out for her and her children. It's all about the children. Got to look out for the children. and they will side with their children. They will so-called protect their children. Um, the primary relationship between with a woman should be between her woman or the woman and a man. And today is that's not the case. Biblically, a woman is supposed to be a helper. She is supposed to complement the man. Um, I was on a polygamy.com. I was on there, and you can't see nothing unless you create a profile. So I did create a profile, put right on there. I wasn't interested. I'm not. I just whatever. But it's amazing how many women contacted me, and they were looking for a man. Well, or you look at their profiles, and they were looking at the man to support them. It basically in their endeavors or their careers. So these women are just looking for a workhorse, and it is just totally contrary. Like, the reality is sex is for procreation. It is you mate. Sex is for reproduction, and it feels good. Duh. If it didn't feel good, we wouldn't reproduce. And we've turned this into this recreational. Sex is recreational, and we can, who are you to tell me I can't be with multiple men or whatever? And you know, the advent of contraception and the morning after pill and stuff, and then abortion, has skewed the natural biological function of sex. It's nothing's changed. Sex is still for reproduction, and we live in this fantasy land where men and women are equal. They're not, and it isn't. Women cannot take care of themselves and a child. It's just they can't. Without all this government assistance and all this stuff, it is extremely rare for a woman to be able to manage all by herself. And then what happens is you get a wealthy, just determined wealthy woman, and she's the mother. She's the mother. She should be taking care of her child. But instead, what she has to do is go out there and bust her butt like a man and then pay somebody to take care of her child. It's messed up. So there's a self-interest in childbearing, and nobody has a child's best interest in mind better than a mother or a father. Guys, oh my goodness. You know, one of the biggest things, it happens all the time. It's common knowledge. Everybody's heard about it or talked about it. Women side with their children. They will remind the man that that's not their child, or they aren't allowed to discipline them. You end up with a bunch of little hellions and brats. Um, so discipline ends up being a major problem. And the new man, most men are just neutered, and they feel alienated. All men want is sex. That's what we're built for. We're built to screw everything with 2 feet in the vagina. That's the way it is. We're designed, evolved to spread our seed, and you know that is what it is. And we just want to get our dicks wet. We'd like to get along with the woman that allows us to do that, because if she doesn't allow us, it's called a rape. So we like to perform our biological function. It feels good. We produce a lot of sperm daily, and we want to put it somewhere. And so women are kind of the gatekeepers. And a guy gets in a relationship with a single mom, and he's alienated. He's hoping to get lucky once in a while, and he's got to put up with this woman that's combative with him and sets him aside and pushes him aside and sides with her children, is protecting her children. Like, lady, what are you doing? If you're going to treat men like this, you are going to be single for a long time. You're going to bounce from guy to guy. You're probably dumb enough you're going to keep getting pregnant, and you're going to have a miserable life, and you're going to blame it on all men are shit, or blame it on whatever. And really, you need to lower your expectations. We don't live in a cartoon. We don't live in a fairy tale. We don't live in a romance novel or whatever gets you off. That is irreality. The worst thing for society was the moving picture. It is just ridiculous. We've had moving pictures now that are getting more and more graphic and detailed for 100 years. It hasn't really taken off until, well, Star Wars was in the early 70s, the mid 70s. I mean, that was an iconic movie, and it just shows how influential what you see on a moving picture has on people. I mean, Star Wars, we still got, it's kind of a weird thing to bring up, but I know a lot of people around me, they're Star Wars fanatics, and that movie first came out in like 1970, I don't know, 77, 79, 8, somewhere in there, I think. I was a kid. So, yeah, guys, you pick a single woman, single mother, you have a handful. Ladies, quit spreading your legs. Stop being stupid. You're ruining yourself, you're ruining your children, and you're ruining society. It's the power's in your panties. I would say in your hands, but the power's in your panties. Nobody, unless they rape you, and rape is very rare, nobody is forcing you to have sex. Nobody's forcing you to have a baby. Think before the dink. All right? Think before the dink. It's a lifelong commitment. It takes a team. Children flourish the best and are most mentally sound and stable when they have a functioning, intact family. And stop playing musical dicks. Your vagina is not an ATM, although it is functioning like one. But you're ruining yourself and you're ruining society and you're just destroying your own happiness. Um, and just realize, guys, sex is for reproduction. It feels really good. And, but just know that it has consequences. You know, wearing a rubber and all this stuff, I get it, but every guy wants to go bareback, and there's consequences. So it's a problem. It's a problem. But ladies, you got to stop spreading your legs. You are the gatekeepers, and if just remember this, for a guy to be called a pig, it takes many women to voluntarily give themselves to that pig. Food for thought.